In our last lesson, we looked at the S-curves for the emerging AI and related technologies of the next few years. We also compared these to the S-curves of several historical technologies, which showed a distinct and likely disruptive nature of AI and the emerging technologies. In the long term, say post-2034, the convergence of these AI and related technologies will create new opportunities and challenges, reshaping industries, economies, and societies. The combined impact will likely be unprecedented, driving innovation, efficiency, and transformation on a global scale. However, in the near term, say roughly 2025 through 2032, as mentioned in the previous video, there is a 70% to 80% probability that the world will experience devastating unemployment and economic disparity. This isn't due to the development of AI and technologies themselves. Rather, the primary cause is that mitigating efforts to address these disruptions should ideally have begun years ago but weren't. For instance, by the early 2000s, governments, industries, and educational institutions should have started recognizing the potential impacts of emerging technologies like automation and AI. Early investments in STEM education, which is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and digital literacy should have been prioritized to prepare the future workforce for what is coming. From 2010 to 2019, policies to support workforce retraining and continuous learning should have been developed and implemented, including collaboration between governments, businesses, and educational institutions to create training programs and internships focused on emerging technologies. The government should have strengthened social safety nets, including unemployment benefits, health care, and housing support to cushion the impact of job displacement. From 2020 to 2025, governments and industries should have accelerated their investment in retraining and education programs and implemented robust lifelong learning programs to help workers continuously update their skills. And they should have provided widespread access to digital skills training to ensure the workforce can adapt to these new technologies. Government should have developed and implemented agile policy frameworks that can quickly adapt to the changing technological landscape, and they should have established regulations and standards for new technologies to ensure ethical use and minimal negative impacts. They should have implemented policies aimed at reducing economic inequality and promoting inclusive growth while encouraging innovation and entrepreneurship to create new job opportunities in emerging sectors. Furthermore, they should have already created community programs to support individuals affected by job displacement, including mental health services and career counseling, as well as running public awareness campaigns to educate people about the impacts of technological change and the importance of adaptability. According to many experts, mitigation efforts should have begun at least 2 decades ago with a focus on education, policy development, and economic reforms. So what does this mean? It means that we are now in a reactive rather than a proactive situation. Reactive responses mean that support systems such as unemployment benefits and retraining programs are implemented only after significant job displacement has already occurred, leading to increased social unrest and economic instability. Additionally, without proactive measures already in place to address economic inequality, the rapid adoption of new technologies will exacerbate existing disparities, leading to greater social and economic divides and leading to strong declines in ethical and moral values. Reactive responses often resemble crisis management, where issues are addressed only when they become critical, leading to a firefighting approach that lacks long-term strategic planning. Given the historical and current trends of governmental behavior, it is reasonable to expect that responses to the disruptions caused by rapid technological advancements will be more reactive than proactive. This reactive approach is likely to lead to increased social and economic challenges, including greater inequality, social unrest, and missed opportunities for sustainable growth. That said, what are the experts predicting in the way of job loss and economic impact? What I'm going to share with you next is a snapshot, as of, say, late 2023 and early 2024, of what many highly regarded resources are publicly sharing on this. Resources such as MIT, Stanford University, Boston University, IBM, McKinsey & Company, PricewaterhouseCoopers, the World Economic Forum, the Tech Report, AI Hungry, as well as research papers and interviews from tech executives and researchers are included in what you're about to see. Remember, what I'm going to share with you are not quotes, but the general consensus of people in the know at this time. My objective is to show you that this is very real and something you need to be aware of. I'll start with a few general observations that they have made and then get very specific. 20% of companies don't have employees with the right skills to use AI tools, and 16% are unable to find new hires to fill the skill gap. 23.5% of U.S. companies have replaced some workers with ChatGPT. Within the next 10 years, 80% of the U.S. workforce could have at least 10% of their tasks impacted by large language models. 19% of workers are employed in jobs most exposed to AI. 27% of workers with a bachelor's degree or higher are employed in jobs most exposed to AI. Only 34% of organizations are reskilling their employees to work with new AI tools. 97% of workers with less than a high school degree work in jobs least exposed to AI. 1 in 4 CEOs surveyed of major companies expect generative AI to lead to job cuts by 5% or more in the next year. Now let's get a little more specific. By 2026, 2 million workers in manufacturing could be replaced by automated tools. By 2027, more than 7.5 million data entry jobs will be lost to AI, and 65% of tasks related to data processing and information will be fully automated. In addition, many large employers think that 42% of tasks will be fully automated by 2027. In a recent survey, 75% of CEOs think generative AI will significantly change their businesses within the next 3 years. Furthermore, 120 million workers will undergo retraining due to AI changing business demands. By 2030, globally, automation could replace between 400 million and 800 million jobs worldwide. By 2034, 47% of U.S. workers will likely have lost their jobs to automation. That said, not all jobs will be displaced. However, it is estimated over the next 10 years through 2034, approximately 40% of all jobs worldwide will have been displaced, with 60% of the remaining jobs being significantly impacted but not entirely displaced. The combined total of all current jobs, either displaced or significantly impacted, will be 80%. This chart helps to show this. On this chart, the gray area represents the combined AI and tech development S-curves from the previous video. Here is the curve for jobs displaced, which tops out at about 40%. Here is the curve for the remaining jobs that will be impacted, which tops out at about 60%. And here is the combined curve for all jobs affected, which is about 80%. The global economy will experience substantial transformations due to job displacement and impact from automation and AI. While there are opportunities for significant productivity gains and economic growth, managing the transition effectively will require immediate measures to address the coming skills gap, income inequality, and regional disparities. However, as we mentioned earlier, governments and industries are already way behind in taking proactive measures to prevent the significant employment and economic disruptions we are likely to see in the next 5 to 7 years. Historically, there is about a 5-year delay between job loss and the development of new jobs. In this chart, I've added a curve that illustrates a 5-year lag for new job creation compared to job loss. Based on current predictions, the time frame that will experience the greatest impact on jobs and the economy is from 2028 to 2036. As you can see, it isn't until after mid-2033 that jobs gained begins to outpace jobs lost. Some of the short-term job impacts due to a failure to timely implement mitigating actions could be these. Workers displaced by automation may struggle to find new employment immediately, leading to increased unemployment rates, and some workers may accept jobs below their skill levels or part-time positions, resulting in underemployment and reduced earnings. High-skilled workers and those in tech-savvy industries may see wage increases, while workers with automatable jobs may experience wage stagnation or job loss, exacerbating income inequality. Regions heavily reliant on jobs that could be replaced by AI intelligence or robotics may face more severe economic challenges, increasing regional inequality. Unemployment and underemployment can lead to reduced disposable income for affected workers, decreasing overall consumer spending and contributing to an economic slowdown affecting businesses and industries reliant on consumer demand. Displaced workers may lack the skills required for new job opportunities, leading to long-term unemployment and a persistent skills mismatch in the labor market. Effective retraining programs require significant investment and time, adding even more burden to governments and businesses, and not all workers may be able or willing to participate. Job loss and financial insecurity can lead to increased stress, anxiety, and other mental health issues among affected workers. Prolonged unemployment and economic hardship can have broader health implications, including reduced access to health care and increased rates of chronic illnesses. The period between job displacement and job replacement poses significant challenges to the global economy, including increased unemployment, economic inequality, reduced consumer spending, and social instability. Proactive measures, including supportive policies, investment in education and training, and economic diversification, are essential and must be implemented immediately to manage these oncoming challenges and ensure a smoother transition to a new technological landscape. If the negative impacts of job displacement and the delay in job replacement due to automation and AI are not effectively mitigated, several likely long-term outcomes could severely affect the global economy and society. Here are some of the potential consequences. Persistent unemployment and underemployment would lead to reduced disposable income and consumer spending, exacerbating economic slowdowns and potentially triggering prolonged recessions. Lower consumer demand could lead to a wave of business closures, especially in retail, hospitality, and other consumer-dependent sectors, further weakening the economy. Displaced workers, particularly those with lower skills, may fall into poverty, unable to secure new employment or transition to new industries. The gap between high-income and low-income individuals will widen, with high-skilled workers benefiting from the new opportunities while low-skilled workers suffer from job losses and wage stagnation. Economic hardship and increased inequality could lead to heightened social tensions, protests, and civil unrest as affected populations express their frustration and anger. Governments could face increased pressure from populist movements and protectionist policies, destabilizing political systems and potentially leading to radical policy shifts. Unemployment benefits, welfare programs, and public health care systems would face significant strain as more individuals rely on them for support. Governments may experience growing fiscal deficits as they try to support unemployed populations while dealing with reduced tax revenues, leading to potential austerity measures and cuts in public services. Without adequate retraining programs, long-term unemployment could become entrenched, with many workers unable to transition to new roles or industries. A significant portion of the workforce may find their skills obsolete, leading to persistent skills mismatch in the labor market and hindering economic recovery. Prolonged unemployment and economic insecurity could lead to a rise in mental health issues such as depression, anxiety, and stress-related disorders. The mental health crisis would place additional strain on public health systems, requiring increased resources and attention. Rising unemployment and economic instability could lead to increased protectionist policies and trade barriers, disrupting global supply chains and international trade. Countries or nations may become more inward-focused, reducing cooperation on global challenges such as climate change, migration, and public health. The potential consequences of not mitigating the impacts of job displacement and the delay in job replacement due to automation and AI are severe and far-reaching. It is crucial for governments, businesses, and international organizations to begin immediately to implement proactive measures, including retraining programs, supportive policies, and economic diversification to manage these transitions and ensure a more stable, inclusive, and resilient global economy. In our next lesson, we will see how the promised age of abundance and prosperity eventually comes around.